What's up, nerds? I'm Kendrick, your not-so-friendly neighborhood otaku, and welcome to my channel where I talk all things anime, manga, manhwa, and webcomics. If that's the type of thing you're into, then subscribe because I'll put 2 to 3 shorts of anime commentary out every week, and I may be posting more full-length videos now that the app I currently post videos on will potentially be banned by the US government. Today, I'm going to be going over my top 10 manga that I physically collect, so what I have back here on these shelves in a tiny New York City apartment, excluding One Piece because that's a beast in and of itself. Let me know if you would prefer to see my top 10 ongoing series that I'm reading digitally, or my top 10 completed series that I physically own next. These are in no particular order, so let's get into it. Up first, we have Dandadan, which is published by Viz and rated mature. The series is currently ongoing at 6 volumes, and there is no anime as of yet. Dandadan is an action supernatural rom-com series and honestly one of the funniest reads. In this series, we follow Momo, who believes in ghosts but not aliens, and Okarun, who believes in aliens but not ghosts. They dare each other to go to supernatural hotspots of their corresponding beliefs, and prove that both of them are right and wrong, since Momo encounters aliens and Okarun encounters the ghost Turbo Granny, who is just the most hilarious character you will ever see. From there, chaos ensues as a story of young love unfolds with oddly horny aliens and spirits. Up next, we have Sakamoto Days, which is also published by Viz. There are currently 10 volumes available for the series, and it's rated older teen. As of now, there's no anime for this series, although I believe it's been brought up in discussion, so maybe later this year, maybe sometime next year. We'll have to wait and see. Sakamoto Days is an action comedy series that follows Taro Sakamoto, a retired legendary hitman. But Sakamoto fell in love, got married, had a kid, and his wife made him promise not to kill again. So he settles into a normal life running a grocery store, but his enemies and colleagues won't let him rest as they seek revenge. Of course, he picks up a ragtag group of friends along the way. They face off against X, who is trying to shut down the Japanese school for assassins. The action in this series is so incredible and well executed. The art for it is absolutely amazing. It is top tier. You have to check it out. Up next, we have the Apothecary Diaries, which is published by Square Enix. There are currently 11 volumes available in English for this series, and it's rated teen. This series does have an anime, and we're about to wrap up season 1, so if you've been watching it and like what you're seeing, I highly recommend checking the manga out. The Apothecary Diaries is a historical mystery drama series that follows Mao Mao, who works in the red light district as an apothecary. But while she's picking herbs, she's kidnapped and sold to the Imperial Palace to work as a servant. While in the inner palace, her curious and eccentric nature won't let her sit still when concubines and their children become sick and die. She leaves a discreet note to warn the concubines to stop using the white face powder that she's seen courtesans in the red light district use, and when they do, they become ill and lose not only their health but their beauty. However, she's found out, and obviously solving this mystery draws attention to her. She moves from being a regular servant to a food tester who catches the eye of a higher up. Up next, we have Spy Family, which is also published by Viz Media. There are currently 10 volumes available English, and this series is rated older teen. This series has 2 seasons of anime available, and a movie will be released sometime in April this year. Spy Family is an action comedy spy fiction series that follows the renowned spy Twilight, aka Lloyd, who needs to settle down with a fake family to spy on his target, Donovan Desmond. So he adopts a child the same age as his target's kid and marries a woman to complete the whole fake family needed for this mission. But his daughter Anya is a telepath, and his wife Yor is an assassin. Chaos ensues as they try to hide their identities from each other, and he tries to stay on top of his mission. Up next, we have Jujutsu Kaisen, which is also published by Viz Media. There are currently 21 volumes available in English for this series, and it's rated older teen. As of now, this series has 2 seasons of anime and 1 movie. Jujutsu Kaisen is an adventure dark fantasy supernatural series rooted in the fact that all living beings emanate cursed energy. Ordinary people cannot control the flow of cursed energy, which results in the birth of curses. Those who can control this flow are known as Jujutsu sorcerers, and they are tasked with fighting the cursed spirits and cursed users who seek the destruction of humanity as it currently exists. We follow Yuji Itadori, who's an unnaturally strong student that eats a talisman linked to the most powerful curse Sukuna and becomes his vessel. So the Jujutsu sorcerers must continue to fight cursed spirits and curse users, all while preparing to exorcise Sukuna and, by extension, Yuji. Next, we have Hat Atelier, which is published by Kodansha. There's currently 11 volumes available for this series, and while there is no anime, there's been talks of one for years, so whether or not that happens is still up in the air. Hat Atelier is a fantasy series that follows Coco, who dreams of becoming a witch but knows that that only innate magic users can practice magic. At least that's what she thought, till she meets the witch Kifri and sees him draw magical ruins to use magic. In secret, she tries this by herself and accidentally turns her mother to stone. Kifri takes her on as an apprentice while they try to figure out what spells she used, and a coven shows interest in her, hoping to revive free use of magic. Up next, we have How Do We Relationship, which is also published by Viz. This series currently has 10 volumes available, and it's rated older teen. As of now, there's no anime for this series, and I don't necessarily see one happening in the future. How Do We Relationship is a slice-of-life yuri rom-com series that follows Miwa and Seiko when they enter their first year of university. They join the same music club and learn that both of them are gay, so they decide to start dating each other since they don't know other queer people and therefore don't have any other option. The problem is, though, that they don't want to hurt each other, divulge past traumas, so they tiptoe around those difficult conversations. Ultimately, they do decide to break up but stay friends. I think this is a fairly realistic take on those liminal relationships you develop when you're first finding yourself outside of your hometown and familial expectations. I'm also really glad we get to see them in relationships with other people, rather than sticking to the trope we often see in romance series, where the two main leads have to end up together, regardless of if the relationship is healthy or not. Up next, we have Ladies on Top, which is published by 7 Seas. There are currently 5 volumes available for this series, and it's rated older teen at 17+, but I personally would rate this just as mature. Ladies on Top is a spicy rom-com series, so there's definitely not an anime available for it. In Ladies on Top, we follow Mitsuki, an office worker who yearns for love, but hates being showered with affection and rather prefers taking the lead. Then she learns her boyfriend Takayuki actually prefers aggressive women, which awakens both of them to exploring their preferences in reversing the traditional gender roles in a relationship. They have their ups and downs as they explore a new side of their relationship, deal with how society and others expect them to act, but ultimately they rely on each other and communicate their needs. Up next, we have Chainsaw Man, which is also published by Viz. This series currently has 14 volumes available in English and is rated older teen. There's 1 season of anime available for this series and an upcoming movie expected to release in June of this year. Chainsaw Man is an action, comedy, horror, dark fantasy series set in a world where devils are born from human fears. Devil hunters specialize in hunting and contracting with them. Denji has been trapped in poverty his whole life and works as a low-level devil hunter, alongside his companion, the chainsaw devil Pochita, to pay off his deceased father's debts. But Denji is betrayed by those he's indebted to and killed by the zombie devil. However, his companion Pochita makes a contract with him, merging with his body to become a devil-human hybrid. There, he joins a governmental team of devil hunters and fights enemies without realizing how close a true enemy lies. And last but certainly not least, we have The Invisible Man and His Soon-to-Be Wife, which is also published by 7 Seas. There are currently 3 volumes available for this series, and it's rated teen at 13+. As of now, there's no anime for this series. Invisible Man and His Soon-to-Be Wife is a supernatural romance series that follows Shizuka, a quiet and shy woman who works at a detective agency. Her boss, Tuonome, is a dapper gentleman who owns the company, and he makes for the perfect detective since he's invisible. But this job perk doesn't apply to Shizuka, who's blind and can always tell when he's near. Well, almost always. We follow both of them as they stumble and blush through the uncharted waters of an office romance. And I will recommend this series to literally anyone because it's just that good. Actually, if you're liking A Sign of Affection, you should probably check this series out too. And again, that was in no particular order my top 10 favorite ongoing manga series that I am physically collecting. Again, let me know in the comments if you want to see me talk about my top 10 ongoing digital series that I'm reading or the top 10 completed series that I physically own next. If one of my top 10 series that I mentioned is something you'd never heard of and it sounded interesting to you, I really hope that you check that out and give it the chance. And if one of your favorite series is something I didn't mention, by all means, comment it, and if I'm not currently reading it, I'll have to check it out. Thanks to everyone who watched all the way to the end, and again, I may be experimenting with putting out multiple shorter videos like this in the future since TikTok is potentially going to be banned, and that's where I post most short form content. That is all for today though, and I will see you next time.